Kingdom OutKast podcast is a platform for us to simply express our thoughts, opinions, and experiences concerning our faith and events around the world. We're here for your entertainment, encouragement, and edification of the body. We're humans like yourself and are not the final authority of views expressed. Only the Most High Yah is. Feel free to agree, disagree, edify, question, and comment however you're led to in the comments. We are many members of one body under Messiah and look forward to communing as a family with mutual respect. Shalom and enjoy the pod. Kingdom OutKast. What's good, everybody? This is your boy Mashak, Brandon Mashak of the Kingdom OutKast podcast, and I have my lovely host with me.
I'm Deja.
It's your boy Eliyahu, Elijah, Kingdom OutKast podcast.
And we are back for episode 26.
Podcasting, the truth of the way.
Woohoo!
Yes, there we go. So y'all, how's y'all week been? What's been going on? What's popping?
Life's been good. Really all praise to the Most High. I've really just been in a great state of peace in really each and every area financially. Been able to save a lot and just really start tailoring my investments towards things that are going to grow over time. Store value assets is what's been on my mind a lot. Mentally, just been chilling. I've actually been doing some therapy sessions because my job gives them for free, and I've been utilizing them.
Oh, those are nice.
No. Let's slow this down. Wait a minute. So tell us, how'd your first session go? What was that like?
Did you go into your
what
childhood?
What kind of trauma
did you start
did
with your
you
childhood?
uncover?
No. So this is my second time going to therapy. So the first time I went, that's when I kind of had to deal with some of the things, like childhood type things. But the ones what I'm dealing with now is they're more relationship based.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of dealing with the renouncing and denouncing from the fraternity. Mm-hmm. Kind of understanding prior romantic relationships and commitment issues that I've had, and understanding those things about myself, and as well as kind of moving with clarity towards the future. So it's been really a blessing. I really rock with my therapist, and she's really smart. She also is faith based, so I think that's vital for me. Mm-hmm. I think she gets kind of a lot of my perspective. So no, it's been really healthy, and I like it because I don't have to burden my loved ones like you guys and my parents and everybody else with my BS, I guess,
Thoughts and feelings.
My thoughts, my feelings,
No.
I don't think it's a burden. I don't think it's a burden because I don't mind talking to you guys about things, but it's
I
I'd
have
rather
thoughts
have
and feelings too.
We just might not. The people in your life are always not the naturally best person to bounce your ideas off of.
Right.
Because I could be I want to jump off a bridge, and mm-hmm. Someone in your life could be you should jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
I just need the suicide hotline number.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's not helpful.
Yeah. But yeah. So it's just been really healthy for me, and I think I got three free sessions left, so I'm gonna be using those.
You'll use them all. Yeah.
I gotta use them up, okay? Yeah, and then what else has been going on?
It sounds like a mid to late 20s crisis, because that's a thing that mm-hmm. people actually have after 25. They get a mid to late 20s crisis where they're I'm no longer in my early 20s. What is going to be mm-hmm. what's to be next? You're looking at everything, analyzing everything, rewiring everything.
Yeah, just trying to make sense of my life. I definitely do feel that really starting to live according to God's word and stuff has very much changed a lot of my perception of myself. So it's not, I can't call it a crisis or anything. It's more of a realization as to the path that I'm going along, and I really do like it. It's so chill, and it's chill, bruh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I would try therapy for fun.
Yeah.
See if I could therapist a therapist.
What?
No, I'm
not
joking.
To actually, yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah, not to actually change or grow or realize certain truths about yourself.
Just for the fun of it, like Let me see if you really can figure me out here.
Yeah.
Let's see if I don't figure you out first.
Right. They don't.
Super healthy approach.
Honestly, therapists, I mean, they do talk, but they don't talk. At least, like, they don't talk a lot.
Oh, they let you.
They get feedback, but it's very, very tailored, which I do appreciate. Like, it's actually like impactful type of communication that we have. But
because a lot of people talk their own solution out sometimes.
Yeah, that's kind of me. But yeah, I mean, life's been good. You know, just realizing a lot more about the future, and kind of planning towards it in regards to like, what is my purpose? I think we're gonna talk about that here a little bit later on. But you know, I'm just excited, and I'm really feeling really blessed because, you know, I don't worry about anything. I know the Most High is in control. My bills are paid, my family's healthy, and you know, I've got a great community down here in Atlanta that I really love. So like,
we love you too.
Yes, well, I love you guys more.
No, you don't.
But yeah. So you know, life has really been good, and I've just been chilling. I've been eating a lot better, kinda. I made myself.
You mean you don't bust down an entire pizza on a Friday night anymore?
Actually, I had half of a pizza on Friday night from Little Caesars. I don't love myself.
Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you have a stomach of steel.
I'm so cheap.
Stomach of steel.
Yeah, my stomach's still okay.
Never change.
I enjoy that Little Caesars. I love it. The hot and ready, and it's not $5 anymore. I'm so tired of inflation.
What was the good thing that you ate? What was the
that's
good,
me.
healthy food that you ate that was evidence that you changed your diet?
Like, honestly, like, up until like this week, I wasn't really like doing too much meat. I was just doing a lot more rice, vegetables, and fruit. But you know, I've been like, recently Saturday I did steak. I made my own steak and it was really good. I still actually have some left, and I got it from the farmer's market. So it was good. But like, I've just been eating. I mean, I can't remember. Well, don't let me lie. When was the last time I did. Okay, so when I was driving back from Ohio, which was a week ago, I did go to Arby's. But all I got was
Arby's.
I got
curly fries.
Curly fries and a Jamocha shake. That's it.
What's the stereotype about them? All they have is meat on top of meat and different kinds of meat. Like, they're just a meaty.
Yeah, we have the meats. It's literally.
Yeah.
Pause.
But yeah, Arby's is, the Jamocha shake was busting though. Like, that joint is good.
Okay,
Coffee
so back to we were talking about all the good qualities of your new diet.
Yes. You know, I just feel a lot better.
Okay.
You know, still like got a good healthy weight, but I just don't eat like.
Because you don't have to. You can't relate to some of us who actually get in the gym because we want to be slim. You've never had that problem in your life.
Yeah, you got a good metabolism, dog. Mine is shot.
Yeah.
I have to. Yeah.
Like, almost like, well, my last birthday, like, my parents and my grandparents were talking about me. They're like, Elijah, when you came out, like, bro, we have never seen such a scrawny baby. Like,
thank you. Love you guys so much.
I know, right? I'm like, well, hopefully I was nourished. But, you know, like,
yeah.
I've honestly kind of always just been, like, skinnier. But I do have love handles, you know.
Yeah, right.
I actually do. My obliques are a little bit, you can feel them, yeah, see?
No, your skin and bones. You're so cap.
Yeah, but yeah, and I've been taking the Zeolite.
Okay, tell me about that progress.
The Zeolite's been really, really helpful for just overall mental clarity and thinking.
Okay.
Like, cause I mean, I make a lot of decisions on a daily basis for work, so like, you know, my thought process behind these decisions has been improving. A lot more people have been getting cars.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, I'm like, what's the Zeolite?
Yeah.
Give it to me.
No, but yeah, that's been really good. And then also my dream life has been like a lot more vivid. So
yeah,
that's cool too. But
yeah, that sleep is amazing, and the dreaming is something different. I've been able to actually remember my dreams.
Very nice.
Like, yeah,
crazy. So that's my week. I kind of went a little long, but who's next?
I'll go. My last few weeks have been good. Definitely busy. Last week we had an annual meeting for work where people like come in town, and it's like all day meetings and a volunteer event, dinner, lunch, breakfast, like a happy hour mixer, both days. So I had to do all the above, and I met up with a mentor. I was assigned a mentor. And she gave me a few books to read. One of them being the 7 Habits of Highly Efficient People.
Stephen Covey.
That one. So I think I'm going to start that one first. And she just gave me recommendations on branding yourself, how to be promotable. She's encouraging me to join our company's chapter of Toastmasters, which is they kind of help you with like speech and presenting and confidence.
Yeah.
And tips on using LinkedIn as a tool, and how to like connect with other people within the organization so that you get your name out there, so that when it's time for promotions or moving around within the organizations, you've kind of like made a good reputation and name for yourself. So those things have all been good and helpful. And I gained a new client for bookkeeping.
Very nice.
Thank you. She's a pretty well-known event planner here in the Atlanta area. So I'll plan to start with her in a few weeks. She's traveling in Europe right now. And so I just, I feel very blessed about some of the opportunities that are being presented before me. And I think that the Most High is showing me that this is a time for me to really like hone in and not be distracted, so that I can capitalize on the opportunities and things that are in front of me at this very time in life that, perhaps 10 years from now, 5 years, even 2 years from now might not be available to me. So that's good. I was telling Elijah that I joined the Gathering Spot, which is it's like a members only social club here in Atlanta. It's not necessarily black only, but it is black owned, and it's a lot of prominent Negroes from around the Atlanta area who are working various fields or their own business owners and so forth. So it's also a workspace and event space. So I'm going to go to events sometimes, definitely go there to work or grab lunch or host meetings. You can meet up with like business partners or people that you work with there too. Like you can use it as a meeting space, reserve conference rooms. I intend to invite you guys out to just come chat it up. We could like do some talking. Talking about the pod or whatever, or come to events with me, whatever. Yeah. So it's just a social outlet. Waiting. It's that thing, like when you get to are you looking for it? Oh, it's gonna be sooner than you think.
To it. I used to do mixtures a good amount back in the day.
Yeah, like social mixtures.
Yeah, mixtures, art mixtures, music mixers. One of my boys was a producer, so I used to go to those, or business mixers. Yeah, I used to be in that world a little bit.
That's the vibe. Just like curating a space to get people together. And I am at this place in life where it's like you want what they call like your third place or your fourth place, where it's like it's not your workplace. It's not necessarily your place of exercise, but you also, it's not a nightlife type of club space. It's just another space for adults to get together and like connect with one another. Yeah. So I think that would be great. I'm really looking forward to spending more time around there, meeting new people. I'm supposed to be running and trying to eventually run a 10K race, but my hair keeps getting in the way. So Elijah, we'll be back at it next week, maybe even this week.
My hair keeps getting in the way. That's funny.
When I get my hair straightened, then I can't go outside and just run. I have to wait for like a week, and then I lose all my endurance.
So time to do the nigga hair, man.
The nigga headband?
Time to do the nigga hair. Time to let the naps out, man.
I know, but the naps are always out. I want my hair to be straight sometimes. I had a fro. The last episode we recorded, I literally had an entire afro.
I hear that for sure. Well, so it was bound sugar wow wowing too.
Thank you.
For sure.
Why can't you run with your hair straightened?
Because it gets frizzy.
He's sweating and stuff like that. Yeah. Like even with braids, if I straighten them for a while, like when I start sweating, they crinkle back up.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. So if I spend all this money for them to like blow dry my hair out and straighten it,
why don't you do it yourself?
Straighten my own hair. Yeah. I could do that, but it's not as nice as the hair salon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can get back to running. Yeah.
When I run with Elijah's like not tired. He's just doing it to like be a good friend, and I really appreciate that.
I appreciate the runs, and
like even if we go up to 6 miles, he's like can go and like hurdle over something any moment he wants.
I'm gonna have to tie my dog to my waist to keep up with y'all. He's gonna help carry me. Like he's gonna help carry me.
He's gonna be madder than you are. Like, please, can we go home?
Yeah, really.
Why are we doing this?
That's funny. I laughed at when you mentioned LinkedIn because I actually just deleted mine.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did laugh, and then we just connected on there recently.
I know. Yeah.
Why'd you delete it?
I don't want them to have any more of my data. I'm tired of it, and I just don't like having all my information on there, like my professional work history. Just kind of weird to me, but so I deleted it. Oh. It was actually today, but that was a side note.
Oh, keep that in mind.
Yeah. I think there's a lot better job sites too, and LinkedIn does like a lot of farming. So like most of my emails come from them about new jobs, and I'm like, I'm just.
But it works so well. The last 3 jobs I found on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but I feel like LinkedIn's become like a social media platform almost, and I'm like, I have like 1,600 connections, and I'm like, I don't know like half of these Negroes, you know?
Right, I don't even know these people.
Yeah, and they're just watching me, you know?
Yeah, I haven't used LinkedIn in a while, and then you get the random happy anniversary for a career, whatever, and it's like that. I haven't done this work in like years, and then from people who don't. Yeah, it's funny. It's great, but my week has been pretty good. I mean, I feel like Elijah, as far as being in that very blessed state, you know, new car, about to have a nice fresh new apartment, with lower rent.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's hard to find.
Yo, $300 lower too, and it's the
significant
apartment next door to mine.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm literally moving into the one that whoever lived there just left.
Yeah,
I got to loot the apartment
inside of the same complex.
Yes, it's next door to mine.
Interesting.
My apartment, like y'all been in my spot, like it's literally the next door apartment I'm moving into.
That's nice. Yeah.
Just and for reasons is, let's just say.
Ratchets.
But yeah, and then my rent goes down $300, and it's the same layout, all that.
Just act like your rent's still the same, and then use that $300 to do something, either invest or.
Yeah. I've allowed myself to pay about maybe $150 more with the car payment.
Oh, smart. Yeah.
With that, but my Wi-Fi is also chopped in half from $100. How my Wi-Fi bill go from $101 to $45 a month? Wow. Right.
I hope you get the same amount of coverage, or whatever.
Oh, it's the same amount. Yeah. Okay. And of course they tried to upsell, but it's like, but yeah. So it's just like, Most High saved me money, and it's just so funny because I see when I give alms or I do like a good deed, I see the Most High, the blessing come very soon after. Like it be in maybe like some form of money, or now it's. Like saving money on bills, this is a new way of blessing. Yeah, that I'm experiencing, and I've seen it in other ways, and it's dope.
You know, if I can comment on
that. Yeah.
I've been realizing it for myself. I don't know why this is, but my gas and electric bill for the past 2 or 3 months has been 0. And I've been like calling them on like, yo, what? Everything is on. I'm like, what is going on? Like, why are my bills at $0? You know, it's the weirdest.
They don't have no answer for you.
They don't have any answer for me.
They don't answer the phone.
I've been emailing people. I'm like, yo, are y'all sure that like this is supposed to be like this?
Right.
I want to pay.
Don't turn my stuff off.
Put up my credit, like.
Nah, literally.
Yeah.
I want to pay.
Literally, but yeah.
Yeah, and then they're gonna finally finish the student loans crap that I've been in for years. Where because I think I told you I don't have to pay my student loans back because of school suit and all that. But the stuff has been sitting on my credit. So, but yeah, this week has been good, man. I've seen a couple friends. It was dope. Israel's ordination, who we'll have as a guest. Soon. Our men's meeting was great. And yeah, it's been good, man. I've been blessed. Went to the movies, saw Civil War, Godzilla vs. King Kong. Plenty of things to dissect from those movies. But yeah, it's been a good week, y'all. It's been a good week.
That's good.
Okay. So. You want to get into our precepts?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get a move on. We're gonna try to make this end on time today, you guys.
Timely.
So precept. Very familiar verse, Ephesians 6:12. Now, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to read it, actually, in a version that is, and I'm going to even say God and Jesus.
What? This is a first. I have never heard such come out of your mouth.
Well, I don't even think God and Jesus is in the verse, but if it's, but, all right, so it's Ephesians 6:12, right? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. But I want to read it from the 1599 Geneva Bible, which predates the King James by just a couple hundred years, right? Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against the worldly governors, the princes of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness which are in high places. Let me read that one more time. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the worldly governors, the princes of the darkness of this world. Not against worldly governors and the princes of the darkness of the world. Against the worldly governors, the princes of the darkness of this world. Against spiritual wickedness which are in high places.
So basically they just call it right out. They just say world leaders, governments, not hypothetical high places. Oh, maybe that means spiritually high places. No, they're saying seats in council of the government. Like,
yeah,
the wording actually makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
huge.
It makes it make so much more sense.
And it just showed you why they changed. Like,
yeah. Wait, what version is that again?
This is the 1599 Geneva.
Okay.
I think
you initially read in KJV.
I think yeah. Well, the Sefer, but the Sefer is basically KJV with it. So basically, but yeah, we've all heard of the Geneva Bible, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, the Geneva also had the Apocrypha, Ezra. Actually, the Geneva even shows that there were over 200 books written by Ezra, not just the 70-something that, current versions of Ezra, which is the Apocrypha, Ezra 3, I believe, read. So, but yeah, it's loading here, but I'll confirm that year date.
Mm-hmm. This is also one of those, I think, like really kind of staple verses in the Word, and growing up using this to combat issues amongst people. That's what this is usually used for, to say like, no, you're not fighting with your best friend, you're not at it with your sibling. It is the spirit behind that thing. So we don't like my enemy is not my neighbor, my enemy is not a teacher if I'm a student, my enemy is not my teammate if I'm like a college athlete. It is the spirit behind me versus them. So that's what normally we how we would break this down.
Yeah, and I think about, like, even going a little bit further, is that is our battle is not against people, but it's against the strongholds that they have in their mind, that they've allowed that basically these powers of darkness have planted seeds in their mind of whether it's anger, whether it's lust, whether it's drunkenness, whatever. Like, these seeds have been planted by these powers of darkness to getting the actual physical person to act out these things, which is what we had to come against. And this is one of those verses, like, when I feel that when you hear one of these verses, like, it's more of a meat type of conversation, like predominant, like, Christianity churches are not going to be talking about spiritual warfare. And like, when you start, like, really understanding the spiritual realm and, like, just how deep it is, then, like, you can really start to see things for what they are here in the physical realm. Like, and I like that you mentioned the governors, because like the people that are making the decisions on the world, they have given themselves up to these powers of darkness to the extent, yielded to them to the extent that now they are doing the bidding of these high up powers in Satan's kingdom. And it's like, in Freemasonry, you don't really realize who you're serving until you start getting up higher and higher in the degrees.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that we're not taught about spiritual things from a younger age, because then we would have a lot more discernment. I'm really just speaking to myself, because I wouldn't have made some of the decisions now. I think that it's just part of what I had to experience to come to this knowledge. But it's like my people perish for lack of knowledge, like literally perishing, dying, because we don't understand that. Like, even just like with the foods that I'm changing to eat, like these companies, like Kellogg's, Kraft, like they're putting chemicals in there.
Pfizer and 90% of cheese now.
Wow. But it's just like they're putting chemicals in there, and those CEOs are They could be like, given into the powers of darkness to be able to improve their profit levels.
Right.
But then, like, without me having discernment as to these foods being really bad, then I'm giving my body over to a form of death, slowly but surely, and eventually going to cause cancer. So just things I think about.
It's and on top of everything you say, like, a lot of times we might say things how the Messiah was a radical and how he's kind of spoke against the governments of the day, mainly the Pharisees and Sadducees, but he talked about Rome here and there. But to have that verse that is such a staple that actually directly points him out to being the princes of darkness, you know what I mean? Like, not just, it didn't just say the spirits, it said the governors. Yeah. As almost as if they already know that they're like this and in cahoots, and it just, if that had always been in our versions and never taken out, how many of us would fall for the political, game? Yeah. How many of us would fall for, like, just so many things. And it just makes me, like, kind of like, I feel like I have to fine-tooth comb every single chapter in the Bible through older versions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, versus what we read today. Because that takes, just like prayer and fasting versus this demon goes out by prayer and fasting versus this demon goes about prayer, by just prayer. How, that's changing versions. It's like, there's so much taken out. And it's like, again, for me, I take that a little bit of leaven's a whole lump, literally. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's like, what I was just going to mention. You take out truth and you put something else in, like, it really does a real big disservice, to, a lot of it. But yeah, so.
Yeah, that's good.
But, but the Hebrew word today, kind of a different word, governor, since that's the word that's actually taken out. I'll read it in Hebrew and Greek. But in Hebrew...
Greek?
Well, when it comes to the New Testament... I'll put it like this. Y'all already know me. I first and foremost, my understanding is that the Bible, New Testament, was written in Hebrew and translated in Greek as well. But just off the fact that a lot of people, like, still think it's Greek, only Greek. Because even if they wrote in Greek, the Israelites would still be coming from a Hebrew perspective. Even if they wrote in Greek, the meaning, they might be still meaning it in Hebrew than just the Greek translation. Right. Yeah. But anyways here, so...
That's like me writing anything in English because I only speak English, and it takes away from the validity that I'm, like, part of the African diaspora. Like, I can write in English because that's where I live, but, like, my history... Your perspective, my perspective, my history isn't British.
There you go, So, Strong's Hebrew 6346, Pakah, and it is a noun masculine. Definition: a governor. NASB translation: captains, governor, governors, governor's official. Of a perfect of city or small district. Then you have Strong's 6347. Pakah, again, is basically the same thing, but it's Aramaic. And then let me see. I'm gonna do Greek. Okay, in Greek, Strong's Greek 2232. It is a hegemon or hegemon, a leader, a governor, a commander, ruler. Leaders, very simple definition. Nothing super, different. So it's not like the term governor or being a governor is inherently evil in a Hebrew perspective, but it's just known that, the high places, the wickedness in high places comes from our leadership.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it's like everything has like such a trickle down effect. think about like working for a corporation, and the individuals who started it, they're going to establish a culture amongst themselves, and then it's going to grow to each and every employee, because that's a standard that's been set. But think about like the kingdoms in the Bible. Like think about Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
Like his top down approach was like, y'all gonna bow down to this golden statue of me, you know? And the whole kingdom had to basically do that. And we know that that was, you know, idol worship. So it's just like the king, the ruler of an area, they set the tone. And also like I think also back to Ephesians 6, there are different like principalities over different areas, you know. So, I mean, I think one of them that's here is the fruity one, and just lust. I'm sorry, you know, yeah, Baphomet, lust, you know. But I mean, yeah. So it's just you got to realize that different regions have different strongholds over those areas.
Mammon,
right?
So
Mammon, the god of money.
Yeah. Or like when you go to when you're around water, you've got I don't know if it's. Darby's talked about it. I don't know if like what the official term of this demon is, but you know, you've got like Mami Wada, you know, and then like the Marine Kingdom stuff, and like that one is very very lusty, you know. So you got incubus and succubus, you know, demons that
Lilith,
yeah. So
I think here in the States, the thing that's kind of been in place, as much as they try and say like diversity and inclusion and we're making these changes and we're doing all these things to make changes, like it's pretty clear who the leaders are. You know, we have a white male dominant society where they try and make space, and they'll have a token this, token that, and sprinkle it in there. But for the most part, they're like really, really wealth driven, like super greed driven.
Yeah, Mammon is definitely
like dominating over dominating over the masses is the feel that you get here.
Yeah. I think Mammon is one of the ones that probably the leaders of this country have sacrificed to a lot. And then you've got the others, you know, like Moloch and others, but it's Mammon definitely drives.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the number one economy for now.
Yeah. So, capitalism basically.
Yeah, true.
It's like capitalism over nature, like destroying and like creating extreme amount of waste and selling products for the extreme low, and overseas labor for cheap labor. All that stuff is like fuels the capitalism machine.
Yeah, capitalism is definitely against the kingdom.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, you know. Yeah, man. That's that. So yeah, y'all look up into that, man. It's always good to have different versions of the Bible, look into older versions and to see, you know, just what kind of might have been changed, manipulated a little bit, you know. It feels dangerous sometimes to say like, oh, the Bible has been tampered or manipulated, because now people will automatically think it invalidates the word of Yah. But at the end of the day, is the Ruach is what speaks to you and leads you into knowledge. So, you know, I mean, yeah, it's a fact. It's been, you know, changing things over time, but the Most High leads you into that more knowledge, you know, to your love, understanding, like He's doing amongst us here. So, but yeah, current events. Right?
Okay, current events. I want to discuss a number of natural disasters, which, of course, we know there's been a rise in natural disasters in general all over around the world. I would say in the last 10 years, especially in the last 5 years.
Sure.
But recently, there's been a lot of flooding that is occurring in Dubai.
Yeah.
So not only is there an issue of flooding, Dubai is passing laws around monitoring the internet and basically people circulating photos via social media of what the truth of what's going on with the flooding and the natural disasters.
Wow.
So what do y'all think about what's happening in Dubai?
I've only seen videos. I haven't really done a lot of research into it, but Dubai is man-made. It's a man-made
city in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, you know. So I think about
and deserts don't flood.
Yeah, which is very.
They don't rain. It doesn't rain in the desert usually.
From what some reports that I've heard, and you know, maybe you can confirm this, Brandon, but you know, I heard that this is like the effects of cloud seeding. So essentially, like, you know, making it rain. You know?
Okay,
like,
right. Just forcing the rain.
Yeah.
I'll make it rain on it.
So it just, and that's honestly what kind of like, not all natural disasters, because we know that Most High is,
the creator of this earth, but there is definitely a hand that's being played by man in creating some of these natural disasters. So it's
I think the ecosystem's just getting thrown off. Like maybe they are creating clouds, and then sometimes they're creating clouds because they're trying to stop the sun from like scorching and killing the things that are supposed to grow.
I remember when I used to believe in climate change,
and like it's a combination of like manipulating the weather because it's really really hot. So maybe they're like, okay, it's getting to be 110, 115 degrees. Yeah. Let's manipulate the clouds and the weather so that it's like habitable.
Yeah.
And it's like going negatively.
And it's kind of like, why don't you just move back into the places that you should be living?
So they don't want to talk about it. Everybody just can't get to moving back to where they came from.
I get it, but
wherever you came from, somebody's there now.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's the thing, when we read end time prophecy and we be talking about like the changes in weather and condition and this and that, Ja Rule, who I listen to on YouTube here and there, and Darby, very similar but different guys. They've said this plenty of times. All that prophecy doesn't mean the Most High is going to be doing all those things. You know what I mean? He's going to be letting Satan do things. Right. Like I said y'all before. I think the story of Job is perfect proof that the Hashatan has some hand in control. Whether right. Prince of power of the air. What do we think that means, right? Wind, weather, wind, Wi-Fi, whatever frequency. But yeah, when you type that in, you get all the articles. What is cloud? CBS News. What is cloud seeding, and did it play any role in Dubai floods? Here's why experts don't think cloud seeding played a role in Dubai's downpour.
Of course they don't.
And so here's the thing. I personally,
they're like, it wasn't that.
Look, 2 years of rain in a day.
Yeah, that's insane.
Snow. That's literally 2 years worth. That's insane. Over half of Dubai, or half to over half, is flooded.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's done, over with.
And it's like you're saying, for it to be a big plot in the middle of the desert, it to just rain on top of Dubai, it sounds crazy.
Seriously, yo. And so, but, there is some quote-unquote speculation that there was a hacking that has happened, not necessarily our technology went out of control, but there's some political game, something happening, their enemies or something like that. Wow. And it's happening. So I personally definitely believe that it was, it was due to cloud seeding. And cloud seeding is not when we see planes, spray.
It's not chemtrails.
And yeah,
it's different.
Even though chemtrails can create and populate clouds, and I believe storm clouds, but cloud seeding is more of when you're actually spraying chemicals into clouds already, and it makes them heavier, and it causes them to rain and such like that. So yeah.
So the other natural disaster that happened very recently is the earthquake that occurred in New York, New Jersey area.
Crazy.
So some of the things I've seen online about this earthquake, because I saw plenty, your social media feed would be, half of it is jokes about the earthquake. The other fourth of it is people who actually live in those areas who are saying oh my gosh, this earthquake happened, I was home, or I'm working from home, or things are shut down. And then you have this over little fringe over here on the side of people that are oh, there's actually HARP locations right here around the area where the earthquake occurred. Perhaps there was some kind of activity, HARP activity underground that caused the earthquake. So what did you guys think when you saw this major earthquake that occurred as if it was just a regular everyday event?
That's the people I work with the most are in that area. So I got a lot of firsthand accounts. They all were like, man, it was crazy. They were talking about the shaking that they felt. They're like, oh, snap. And then I wasn't working that day, but they all were just shaken up a little bit. And it's just crazy because that's not an area that usually gets earthquakes,
Right.
I didn't even know that there was honestly a fault there. But in my opinion, it's very much a tell of the times that we're living in. We have the financial epicenter of the United States dealing with an earthquake. Now, I don't think anyone died or anything, but it's still something very. It's what is the word? ominous, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, and clearly our economy's in shambles, just it hasn't shambled yet. But it was very weird. Now about the harp locations, I did not know that. That's news to me.
Oh, I can put a map on here that shows. You can either just easily Google Maps harp and just see where all the locations are stationed all over the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually I had another app called Windy on my phone where I could look at the weather, and I definitely would see where certain storms were traveling from those pinpointed locations of where the harp stations are.
It's crazy.
Like
The
hurricanes
most
and all of
powerful
that.
ionospheric heater in the world. Wow.
And so, not that we weren't already busy with the eclipse and the flooding and the earthquakes, then something happened
We're up.
on the Ohio River
Yeah.
that seemed very unexplained to me. But multiple barges, which barges are like metal steel, they're like holding, it's like a container, right? Holding containers, broke free from a major dock in Ohio, and started rushing down the Ohio River and getting stuck on bridges. So these barges are piling up and they're extremely heavy. The water continues to flow, and the National Guard has been called out there to devise a plan to dismantle all these huge pieces of metal, because obviously they can't just collect there without breaking the Ohio River Bridge. What on heaven's earth is happening?
You know, out of chaos comes order.
Like, is this a war tactic, or is it really a coincidence?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw this week the bridge collapsing in Maryland. That's now being investigated as under a criminal investigation.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
So it's no longer being looked at as a structural accidental issue,
Right.
an accident.
I mean, I knew it off the jump because Biden was like, "Oh, it's not that, it's not terrorism." I'm like, bro, as soon as you
The Ohio River barge thing sounds like terrorism to me.
yeah,
No, it's our government. That's what it is. You have to destroy the infrastructure of America now to cause inflation, to cause these money issues, to cause all these issues. So our economy crashes, and you're gonna, one thing that's definitely interesting. After the eclipse, mass stuff starts happening. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that it's the eclipse, but I think it's because did I mention on here how the eclipse, the day of the eclipse is actually a cultic holiday?
No.
Oh, so 120 years, which mirrors 120 years the Most High gave humanity before he flooded it. 120 years ago on April 8th, Aleister Crowley, 33rd degree, Mason, wrote the Book of the Law, which taught the law of love, or do what thou wilt, or the satanic cult law of Thelema.
Yeah.
And so all these songs, when you hear these songs about eclipses, or you see these movies like, what's that movie on Netflix that was big?
Leave the World Behind?
Yeah, that was an eclipse. All this eclipse symbolism was to lead up to that day.
Yeah.
And so it was actually a massive occult holiday, celebrating their 120 years of this satanic religion. And think about it, 120 years was the world restarted, flood, right? Well, what in the satanic world, what does it represent? The restart of their new world order. So we're
at
gonna
the eclipse
think
is the restart. The eclipse was the restart.
I'm not gonna say. I think it was. I think it's symbolic.
Yeah.
It's symbolic in the cultic world of this new world order. We've moved out of the order where Christianity and all this stuff. How I was probably believed like the world we do solution with Christianity for this time period, and now we're now moving into I believe the age of Horus, which is the time for Satan, or for Luciferianism. So we're gonna see things ramp up since that date, the man died, who created the particle accelerator, right?
Dr. Higgs
Sacrifice
for CERN. He was the one who basically created CERN. But I think one thing as I think about back to the eclipse, and as well as with the Ohio River barges going down, and then us just having that bridge collapse.
And earthquakes.
Is, I guess in regards to the occult having that day, is the fact that a lot of fear has been spread around, and you know that like
we fed power. People fed power into it.
Literally. So like with that being the case, it's like, you know, it really does open up portals, you know, for you know, these CERN entities and stuff to being able to come through and start to inhabit people. So like Ephesians 6 is really real.
Our energy is powering their occultic.
Yes.
Like it, like
Pursuits,
literally on the news, the news anchor had an accidental slip. You know, the eclipse earthquake. Like you know, deploying National Guard. They did so many things that weren't supposed to be quote unquote connected to each other, but would give people fear because of speculation of why.
Yeah.
And you know, you even had the one mother who was an astrology influencer who stabbed her boyfriend up and killed him and pushed her kids out on the highway.
I saw that.
In a moving vehicle. Only one like kid survived, and she crashed and killed herself. And her whole thing was like, the eclipse is the end of the world, the eclipse is apocalypse, like spreading mad fear. Like even a lot of Hebrews have spread, you know, certain fear and stuff like that. And it's just like, man, you know, we see things happening that the world's predicted, but we gotta stand on our courage. And that just like the Most High delivered the Israelites in Egypt, He's gonna keep us safe, you know, in these times. So.
And it's not surprising that these events are kind of do circulate around what's happening within the stratosphere, or because those occultic organizations worship the moon and the stars. So as like
so the fallen
people,
angels imprisoned in them.
As people of faith, we have to make sure not to accidentally be guilty of any kind of idolatry by focusing too heavily on those things in those moments, even if we think that we're doing it out of like, oh, this is prophetic. Like, nah, like the Most High, He doesn't only leave us symbols in the stars for us to worship. Like, it's about really having a relationship with Him. So I don't think those should be our signs.
Right.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Okay, so the last current event I want to discuss is about a stabbing that occurred. Bishop Mari Emanuel was stabbed in the temple. I believe that he's a Christian bishop, Orthodox Christian.
Yes.
And so there's then an event occurred where an intruder entered the building and was able to get to him and like violently, you know, stabbed him in front of his congregation, and the whole thing was like also filmed. And I don't know if anyone's been arrested for that. I believe so. But to me, this indicates there is a rise in persecution against Christians.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
This is in Australia too, where they've already started a lot of the New World Order type of stuff in like central bank digital currencies and surveillance and all that. But I mean, I've really enjoyed seeing his content on YouTube, and you know, just mentioning like really living according to God's word and like getting out of sin.
Like you've heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of him before the stabbing. I never like watched any of his full sermons, but I see like clips of him and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, from the clips, you know, it seems like he's very thorough in the word, but it definitely is telling that like, you know, persecution is going to be on the rise, and this is in a country where you wouldn't expect it. Like, you know, these are things that you would expect like maybe
crime.
In the Middle East or like in Africa, where you know
there's an active war.
Yeah, active persecution. You know,
He apparently yelled like a Muslim saying, you know, something Arabic. Allah do. I can't even say it, but like this was like kind of like one of those situations.
Yeah.
So they think that the person who attacked him was a part of it.
Most likely Muslim.
15?
15, yeah.
So a child.
Granted, the bishop turned around and started praying for bro.
Yeah.
You know, nobody died or nothing like that, you know. But man definitely has a heart, man, you know. Praying for the guy who just tried to kill you, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely is just hinting at, you know, possible oncoming persecution, and you know, you could just pray and hope that the Most High, like, you know, would give us, you know, that type of strength in those type of situations.
Seriously, because I mean, if anyone rushed at any of our leaders, I would be
Guns out.
guns out.
Ready to blow it.
I'll ask questions later.
Yeah.
But
But we also, like, I think we're really kind of like on edge in our places of worship, because we feel like it's not necessarily safe to go out and stand and scream out to the top of our lungs about who we are and what we believe. So we're moving like that. But if it's always been safe in Australia to be a bishop of an Orthodox Christian church, and these things are fine and accepted, and then now people are like acting violently towards you, you're gonna be caught off guard.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think you could also make the case here in America, at certain churches, like they would be like
Joel Osteen.
They may not even have security there.
It's like Joel Osteen's church.
Yeah.
They've never had one issue in the last however many years they've been open. And this year someone came in there with a gun.
Yeah.
And there were I guess they were Hispanic, and they had certain hate language around like political jargon and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't know if these people are insane and they're being encouraged to go run and do these things, or if these are people acting as an individual. That they never get to the bottom of the story when they tell you these things.
Yeah.
All you know is there was a crazy person who ran and did something, and then they move on to the next story. Like, no, was that person associated with other people?
Yeah. Like,
was this like a mission? Are they all somehow tied together, or are these all just separate individual crazy people running into schools and churches doing stuff like this?
Yeah, it's you definitely got to do your due diligence nowadays in trying to get to the bottom of a story, like, and finding out a lot more than what the surface level news is going to tell you. Like with the Joel Osteen thing, you learn that person was a transformer, and that they were dealing with mental issues. So it's like things like that. It's like the media is not going to say that because they're pushing an agenda that's in regards to that. So just got to be diligent, discerning, and keep that thing on you.
Your sword.
Yeah, keep your sword.
So I want to open up for a discussion on talking about our journey in the truth, and how our personality and our approach to the truth has transformed over time. So basically, like, who you were when you first came into the truth, your personality, your approach, like your zeal versus who you are today.
I'll go first. I think I came into the truth the most recently. And
you've changed already.
I know, right?
You didn't have hair, now you have hair.
I know. No more fade. No more it's easy. My personality and approach to the truth, I think that over time, because it's been about 3 years now.
I'm listening.
Okay. I have very much mellowed out. I've calmed down, and I think this is just in general with my relationship with the Most High. I've just like learned to let Him lead me with how I communicate with people, and not really just hitting people upside the head. Like even last year, like I had an instance when I kind of hit somebody upside the head in regards to a lifestyle that they were living, and I thought that it was like the best way to go about it. And I do think it was important for me to mention it to the person, but I also had to realize that
he needs to be peeing with the door open.
I had to realize that I could have communicated it a lot better. So my approach, even from that instance into the next one, has been like, all right, let people come to you. Like, you don't have to hit them upside the head.
I know exactly which situation you're talking about, too, which is funny.
Yeah.
Because he got back with you, too.
Yeah, he did. And I respect it.
It's not like you just came with the truth and he's like, you know what, sorry, no. Yeah. He, got back with you.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm like...
You might as well share what the situation was.
I don't know if I really want to.
That's fair.
I don't know if I really want to get into it.
I don't want you to get canceled out here.
Yeah. I'm uncancelable because I don't care. But my personality has been also in regards to the truth. Like, I try not to, unless someone is really asking me, I try not to give it unwarranted unless it's like a loved one. Like, I'll just send them some verses and stuff. But it's just like I've learned to very much chill out, be led by the Most High. I'll give nuggets here and there of like because I have one of my favorite dealers. He's Muslim and his family's in Gaza, and we've talked about the situation a couple of times, and I've given him just a couple of nuggets just so that he knows like where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And I actually like recently I was able to like, you know, talk about Christ with him. So like it's like I've had to learn that, and I don't want to say just coming into the truth, but just being more open with my faith is like I've had to calm down and just kind of let people come to me and ask me questions, which has been a lot more of a blessing than being like, you know, you need to you know, live according to Leviticus 18 and you know, not be fruity and, you know, just like
Eating pork and
eating bad and you know, fornicating and, you know, just like being worldly. But you know, I do realize that everyone has their own path. And I was talking to one of my homies' moms the other day, and she was saying, like, cause she follows me on Instagram, she was like, you know, like it's like the things that you're learning now are things that people have to figure out when they're 50 and older, you know.
Right.
Like, so like when you really think about that, it's like, wow, I do need to slow down with how I communicate with people that are my age. Not that not that I had to ever change how I talk to people, but like maybe they're just not ready to be accepting of the reality that this is actually going to fix your problems when you live according to the Most High's word. So just kind of having that wisdom, it's really a blessing. But I've had to learn that like the Messiah said, don't throw your pearls to pigs. And not everybody's really ready for just what they need to hear is not what they want to hear sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think my personality went from like annoyed, impatient to like, okay, well, that's what you think, then okay. So there's still like, at first it was like, no, people need to know this, and if you don't know this, and like, what are you even talking about? Like, don't even talk to me about this because you're not even educated about that. And like the more aggressive, like I can't even necessarily have a conversation about it with certain people without it going into a place of argument and argumentativeness. And now it's more so like somebody would need to like come and get in my grill and be asking me about my personal beliefs for the conversation to even go there, because I'm not just offering that information anymore. Yeah, it's so I guess I would like to think I'm a little easier to talk to now. And I also I don't think I have any room, like there was like no room for error. That's the feedback I've gotten from a few friends. Like you're like so passionate about what you believe, but there's like no room for the likelihood that you could somehow be wrong at all. Now I can at least conduct the conversation as if there's a room for error, that there's some possibility that I'm wrong even though I'm not. Yeah. Before there was no room for error at all. Now it's like, okay, yeah, maybe you could possibly in some alternate reality be somewhat possibly correct about what you're saying. Yeah. Before it was just like, you don't even deserve to look at me. I'm a child of the Most High.
Oh, boy,
yeah. What do you know about the word?
I agree. I think it's in that scenario, I was actually just talking about this with somebody recently, and it's like we as humans, we do have pride. We do have pride that we have to keep in check. That's important. And when we do keep it in check, I think that we're able to, you know, come across as more, I don't want to say cooperative, but like able to be heard, you know, in a better way. Right. What about you, Brandon?
I'm going to keep mine short because I actually want to read something from the majority of my portion, but it's
is it an online argument that you've archived?
No. It's the words of Messiah on what is truth.
Okay, that's major.
And you know, I think it's funny because I listen to Bishop William and he just talks about how he sees the same pattern with every brew that comes into truth a lot. And, he's been in this thing for like 20 plus years, all that, and yeah, you learn so much, and sometimes at a rapid pace that you just start to vomit it out. It's like you can't hold it in, But so for me, overzealous. Cutting off family, cutting off friends, this and that. Like you just want people to know, what you know. And, it caused a lot of contention over time. I read in a apocryphal text talking about how Asher is someone who he would reveal secrets and topics and knowledge that he shouldn't in situations in the goodness of his heart, but it will cause contention with his brothers. I'm like, that's my granddad. That's literally what I've been even before I came into the truth. And so, yeah, man, it was that. But the Most High has definitely took me through humbling situations. He showed me things for me to be a lot more quiet. I don't really, do too much on social media with sharing right now, just because I'm just still in a learning and maturing period. But yeah, I was just that person. I just vomit everything, and I was a little bit. I think for certain people who just wasn't even in that walk, I was a little unbearable. For at least loved ones. Strangers I'm not. But and there was always a way to turn the conversation into something about the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, you had cereal today? Oh yeah, they got this one chemical in there.
Right.
You see
Cereal
that
isn't
symbol
real.
on the box, it has,
Yeah.
like,
Man.
but in wrapping up my point, this is basically a conversation the Messiah had with the disciples. And it says again, the 12 were gathered together in a circle of palm trees. And one of them, even Thomas, said to the other, "What is truth? For the same things appear different to different minds, and even to the same mind at different times. What then is truth?" And as they were speaking, Yahshua appeared in the midst and said, "Truth, one and absolute, is in God alone. For no man, neither any body of men knoweth which God alone knoweth, who is all in all. To men is truth revealed according to their capacity to understand and receive. The one truth hath many sides, and one seeth one side only, another seeth another, and some see more than others, according as it is given to them. Behold this crystal, how the one light is manifest in 12 faces, yea, 4 times 12, and each face reflecteth one ray of the light, and one regardeth one face, and another. But it is the one crystal and the one light that shineth in all. You get that, how crystal has, right?
The source. He's saying the source of the light.
Behold, again, when one climbeth a mountain and attaineth one height, he saith, "This is the top of the mountain, let us reach it." And when they have reached that height, lo, they see another beyond it, until they come to that height, from which no other height is to be seen. If so, they can attain it. And so it's like you think you've arrived. Every time you think you've arrived into your knowledge, nope, there's more. Pump your brakes. So it is with truth. I am the truth and the way and the life, and have given you the truth I have received from above. And that which is seen and received by one is not seen and received by another. That which appeareth true to some seemeth not true to others. They who are in the valley see not as they who are on the hilltop. But to each is the truth as one mind seeth it, and for that time till a higher truth shall be revealed unto the same. And to the soul that receiveth higher light shall he be given more light. Wherefore condemn not others, that ye be not condemned. There it goes. Can't condemn others for not being in the truth, right? As ye keep the holy law of love, which I have given unto you, so shall the truth be revealed more and more unto you. And the spirit of truth, which cometh from above, shall guide you, albeit through many wanderings, into all truth, even as the fiery cloud guide the children of Israel through the wilderness. And that's very peculiar. The more you grow in love, the more truth you'll get as well. Like, you'll get a certain amount of truth, but until you mature in that, and like that makes so much sense. Be faithful, it's almost finished. Be faithful to the light ye have, till a higher light is given to you. Seek more light, and ye shall have abundantly. Rest not till ye find. God giveth you all truth as a ladder with many steps for the salvation and perfection of the soul. And the truth which seemeth to today ye will abandon for the higher truth of the morrow. Press ye unto perfection. Whosoever keepeth the holy law which I have given, the same shall save their souls. However differently they may see the truths which I have given. Many shall say unto me, Lord, Lord, we have been zealous for thy truth. But I shall say unto them, Nay, but at others may see as ye see, and none others truth beside. Let me read that again. Many shall say unto me, Lord, Lord, we have been zealous for thy truth.
But I shall say unto them, nay, or no, but that others may see as ye see, and none other truth beside. Faith without charity is dead. Love is the fulfilling of the law. Last 3 verses. How shall faith in what they receive profit them that holdeth it unto unrighteousness? They who have love have all things, and without love there is nothing. Let each other hold what they see to be the truth in love, knowing that where love is not, truth is a dead letter and profiteth nothing. There abide goodness and truth and beauty, but the greatest of these is goodness. If any have hatred to their fellows, and harden their hearts to the creatures of God's hands, how can they see truth unto salvation, seeing their eyes are blinded and their hearts are hardened by God's creation? As I have received the truth, so have I given it to you. Let each receive it according to their light and ability to understand, and persecute not those who receive it after a different interpretation. For truth is the might of Yah, and it shall prevail in the end over all errors. But the holy law which I have given is plain for all, and just and good. Let all observe it for the salvation of their souls. I know that was lengthy, but I could not go without that.
No, that was
but
good.
It's so, in Elijah's words, juicy.
Yes.
So juicy.
Yes. That is
and
the best way to
sweet.
describe it.
Like,
Yeah. That was a really good, a perfect understanding of truth, for real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never ever said like I've arrived, but I've definitely gotten to points where it's like, bruh, like I know too much.
Yes.
Like I know so much. But then next thing you know, something else is revealed, and it's like, well, throw all that out the window, right? You know?
I think in regards to what the Messiah said, in regards to the truth is like in regards to communicating it with others, is coming from a place of love, which is really, really important. And like, especially like with understanding like who the people of the book really are, I think that's one that a lot of people don't want to hear, of course, but like when you deal with it in love, they can really understand your perspective, especially being a Hebrew. And also like, and I think that we definitely have a skewed perspective of actually what love is, because a lot of what people think is love is actually more lust, more like a desire to control, more of a desire to have power over somebody and like just to be manipulative. But I think love is wanting to see the greatest overall amount of peace in somebody, or just like, and that is based in truth, because like if you know about like, okay, for example, the law, when you know the law and you tell your loved one like, hey, I don't want you to eat pork because it's not healthy, like you can use the law to like tell them that, or you could just say like, out of love, because I want you to live the longest life amount as possible. That is the truth.
Brothers, you can't be eating that up.
Yeah.
Yes, unrighteous up.
Yeah,
You're gonna
It's not
die
Torah.
up.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
not Torah.
I mean, it is about being righteous, but it's about like loving someone. You want them to have as long and fulfilling as a life as possible, so like love is not always like soft and like docile, and
Sometimes it's tough love.
it's tough, like sometimes you just gotta be real with people. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that was hard hat combo boots.
Oh yeah.
Hebrew. I wasn't screaming at white folk on the side of the street, but
Right.
my family was getting it.
Yeah.
I do think that you can always tell someone's confidence in like the thing that they are passionate about by their behavior and the way that they move. So when you have true confidence in something, you've been walking a walk so long, you're not like overcompensating by needing to like create conflict, or overcompensating by always arguing. Like the naturalness of like the way that you flow will show what your real confidence is in what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm really confident and I've been rooting in this for years over years, like I would be really hard pressed to like go and argue with somebody who just learned this last week, or or for some reason has like some sort of rebuttal to it. Like my maturity, my confidence is there, so that I don't need to overcompensate.
Yeah. That's
and
real.
And that's and that is just the thing about first coming into and learning so many things. Is just like you really the reality of everything I know is a lie or manipulation of a lie. It's just so jarring to you that you lose your mind almost, you know, and so you come off sounding crazy and you get frustrated with people because you keep having the same pattern. But you know that really is like a baby. It's like, yo, like that's you're on milk still. Technically at that point, even though you might be on you know, you might not be on the breast milk like a lot of others, but you still drinking milk. You're not on real meat until you've really matured, you know. And then the Most High can keep filling you with higher truths, deeper truths, you know.
Most definitely.
And then it's again on praying, like, what should I reveal or not?
Yeah, and being led by the Spirit, because I do think that as you do come into the truth, like, and you start to get knowledge, like Paul says, like, knowledge puffeth up. So, like, it's so easy for you to be ready to debate, ready to hit people upside the head with, like, you know, things that you think that they should know, you know, but
Dr.
like,
Umar style.
Yeah, Dr. Umar style, like, that this is how it is, like, but you have to realize that there's a level of pride in that, you know, and you can't, you just gotta be Holy Spirit led, you know.
For sure, y'all.
Yeah.
For sure.
What did Dr. Umar call that man? A beta coon?
A beta coon. Oh, that was so funny. Dr. Umar is hilarious, y'all. Like, I saw this, where was he speaking at? I think it was Prairie View. And, he said, I think he said, African queens forever. And then the crowd chanted back, snow bunnies never. And I kept going.
And he's leading this.
Yes, I was like, oh my gosh.
You probably shed a tear that day. Like,
Dr. Umar is like my example of like the personality transition, because he's super passionate about what he's saying, but you can tell he's more confident in it.
Oh, yeah.
So he's not just like straight arguing everywhere he goes. I'm straight arguing. Like, people are now asking him, like, please share what your thoughts are on these things. He did an interview with Nick Cannon. I guess it was more of like a sit down talk, like a pod with Nick Cannon, and instead of going straight into Nick Cannon, like about all the baby moms that he has and how most of them are like other race or biracial, like, and he, like, instead of doing that, he like eased into it in a way that showed me that his confidence and maturity has mature, like it has grown in who he is, because he could have easily went straight to like, Nick Cannon, you're out here saying all this black empowerment stuff. You've got like 16 kids running around here, and only one of them is like black.
Yeah. Dirt, dope.
So I want to be like, you know, I'm gonna be like Dr. Umar. I'm still super passionate. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm not just out here just fighting with everybody on CNN. Like,
yeah. I ain't got time for that.
For sure.
Speaking of CNN, you know, I think it's a good segue into our turn of thought.
Oh, for sure.
Because they literally are headquartered here in Atlanta, I believe, with Turner Network. But, you know, let's talk about the surveillance state. I think we saw recently this video on Twitter that talked about, what was it called? It's called Light Up the Night.
Yeah.
Which is an initiative that the city of Atlanta is doing, and it very much ties into surveillance state and how we're just living in it.
Are we the first state to go into this?
I'm not sure, honestly, because they didn't mention any others.
They just said that Atlanta is one of the most surveillanced cities. I think so. With this initiative, they're saying,
they want to watch the brews.
Is it because
that's true?
Is this a huge brew hub?
Man, come on.
Not,
this is
not
the Atlantis.
Not cognizant brews, but just Negroes.
No, but this is the densest of African Americans, of successful African Americans in the whole United States.
Yeah.
But Atlanta's known for many things. They said it's the highest surveillance, one of the highest surveillance cities. I think because of we're actually known for a lot of scamming money.
Yeah.
So like a lot of street money is like floating around in Atlanta, and it's very evident, and you can see the way people are spending money on designer clothes and what they're doing with these sections, the bottles, and all these crazy cars. So it's a known thing that there's a lot of scamming going on here. There's also a lot of car break-ins and so things. So I think they're trying to say, oh, this is to help with crime. But in real life, if they're like surveilling all of the streets like we're in China or something, that's going to be like trickle down to basically eliminating individual freedom. It's going to be harder to move around like under the radar when every highway and every system, and your license plate is tracking and everything is tracking?
I think it's both, not even just crime. I think it's because you do also have the cream of the crop. Like, because it's just so dense here, you're going to have, of course, that kind of big crime rate because you have to have actual skills, charisma, and certain skills to actually be a successful scammer and things like that, right? Well, a lot of people also use those skills positively in the upbuilding of your businesses. I really just think it's literally because of the influence, like in general. Like, Atlanta has ran a music industry, which music is like the most powerful force on the face of this planet, for over 15 years. I think it's been the most moved to city of over 10 years. They're gonna have the freaking the FIFA World Cup here. Like, you know, it's literally because, you know, we can say racism, but Eshawn Burgie said it best in the song. It's really race is really nationalism. And so if our powers, our governors, like Ephesians 6:12 said, knows who we are, we got to surveil the densest hub of these Negroes. They in there in Atlantis, Atlanta, the Black Mecca, the quote unquote, how Atlantis was the gods of, you know, the ancient world. Yeah. This is a hub for the black celebrities or the gods of this. So much so that people will see celebrities out and not even like hound them crazy in Atlanta. Like, it's just normal, you know? Yeah. So it's just like, I think it's so many parallels and symbolism even just in that shows so many different reasons. Yeah,
we did.
There you go. You know, why we would be surveillanced.
Yeah.
You know,
I see where you're coming from. I didn't think of it in that sense. The first thing I thought of was just the natural progression towards the one world government and everything having to be surveyed. And I think of it like that because I read 1984 by George Orwell when I was like in high school, and I need to reread it because it basically outlines each and everything and like how everything's going to be surveyed. Like, and I think Atlanta is just one of the major hubs that has to be. DC, New York, probably LA. Like, they probably already started going under these sorts of transitions, and this isn't even like, these aren't cameras, these are body heat sensors that are able to pick up things that are on Wi-Fi and like many other types of like data points that agencies and law enforcement can utilize to being able to of course decrease criminal activity, but also
that's what they say it's for,
monitor populations, because that's really what it's all about. And I think when I think about this, like, just as an alternative thought, and I talked about this last night on my live, but there was a major event that happened right at the turn of the century that allowed for all this to be put in place. 9/11. Yeah. And the Patriot Act. Yeah. Once because of all the fear that was brought around that event, now we have legislation on the books that gives these agencies that are, I was thinking about it, like, you have government officials, but then you have the agencies. The agencies are not elected.
Right.
And they actually have more power than really the elected officials.
Right.
On a basis of affecting individuals. So, like, with that being the case, it's just thinking about how now, like, I mean, working in the finance industry, you realize these things, that every deposit, every transaction is tracked. Everything's tracked. We're being listened to right now. You know what I mean? Like, everything is being tracked. So, like, it's just a furthering of that. And sometimes I probably shouldn't talk about these things, but
we're here. We're here now.
Pray over that cover.
I think the surveillance,
the blood.
The surveillance,
our line glitches in their systems.
The infrastructure for it. So they're going to set up the infrastructure just like 5G, where it's like, if they're saying, oh, we need a surveillance instead of having stoplights and all these lights on street lights, to us at first it's like, well, why swap that out? The surveillance camera is going to literally be a street light, just like there's street lights now. So what's the difference? The 5G towers, we're going to get the same Wi-Fi. Nothing is going to feel that way. But really, alternative thought is that it's the infrastructure, so that once they want to do facial recognition and once you need to have your face scanned or your eye scanned or some type of chip so that you can access certain places, and there's going to be people who are like off the map, not on the system. You can't even drive through the cities at that point. In the future, when this is like dystopian future, you can't even like be walking through because your face will be scanned and this and that. And so the infrastructure is getting in place.
Yeah, it's already being put in place. And actually in Europe, a lot of the countries are starting, like, the citizens are starting to tear down these things, but there are these monitoring cameras that basically they watch cars. So like they track how many miles each license plate's going. In regards to, you know, this climate change initiative. So it's just like they just tear them down, and they also, like, the citizens are starting to put up signs about like, hey, this is coming up, so don't speed type stuff. But you know, I'm still gonna live my life. I run too many red lights.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's just trying. I really think that off the rip, they're putting the infrastructure, but I think they're really trying to crack down on the scamming and street money that's here. Because when you have like people walking into Lenox and Phipps and putting $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on Chanel and all these Louis Vuittons and driving these crazy cars, and then really, you know, the license plates of the cars and somebody else's name, and the ID on the phone is somebody else's name, and the card that the Amex card is someone else's name. I just think there's too much street money floating around, so they need to like put a stop to that.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Well, hey, in the meantime, we just smile for y'all cameras.
I know, us law-abiding citizens, good working people,
we are law-abiding.
We don't have like anything to worry about, not at least now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Financial news.
Except when they send me screenshots of my social media posts.
We got you now. So financial news. There was a major event that happened this week. I think it was on Friday or on Thursday, but a man by the name of Max Azzarello set himself on fire right outside of the Trump trial, the court. And my thoughts and my prayers go out to his family, because I can't imagine what they're dealing with. I mean, this was done in such a public way. And looking through his Instagram and stuff, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at this story, but you know, he was talking about like starting a revolution, and then, you know, when you read the Substack that he put out, it goes into also kind of what we're talking about with the alternative thought, but also more of how finance is changing. How he talks about how
it's good. I read it. It is good.
It is really good. He went down a real rabbit hole, but I hope he knew Christ.
That's what happened. No, honestly, I hope he does too. But that's what happens when you start learning about these truths without a foundation.
Right.
Yeah,
you know?
Without a faith. Like, all you can do is experience anxiety and depression because you don't have a hope at the end of the day. You just think the world is evil and that's it.
Right.
So hopefully, you know, he might have, but that's a telltale sign, to be honest, for me.
To clarity, did he pass away?
Yes, he died.
In that event?
In that event, yes.
Wow.
And honestly, like, it made me, like, really just... Like, I saw the actual video on Twitter.
So he burned himself alive. His simply, because every headline I've seen is say set on fire, man set on fire. But he burned himself
doused
alive.
himself in gasoline.
Yeah.
And he lit a match and put himself on fire. And people were filming this. I'm like, bro, why are you filming this? Go help the man.
Right, spray him down.
Like, literally, or put a blanket on him, something. But you know the world that we live in. You know, you gotta pull the phones out.
So I did read it without actually knowing that it was that extreme.
Yes. And
I would thought this would have got more coverage.
Yeah,
of course not.
Well, then because it's attacking them, they're not gonna really talk about it. That's why, like, I'm like, go read this for yourself before like letting CNN, Fox News, like,
because it could lead you down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. And this is honestly part of the rabbit hole that I'm part of, but like, and that's why I want to talk about financial news, because one of the bullet points that he brought up was cryptocurrency is our first planetary multi-trillion-dollar Ponzi scheme. It was expressly created for this purpose by a laundry list of rich and powerful people out of Stanford and Silicon Valley and Harvard and Facebook. And then he goes into talking about just so many other things.
And Bitcoin just had their halving event, right?
Yeah. So it's, you know, it made me like really step back and look at cryptocurrency for what it is, because it is, although these are not central bank digital currencies, each blockchain is very much similar to the CBDCs, besides it being issued by a central bank digital currency.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Like, when we see like Russian hackers hacking and holding things for ransom and then asking for Bitcoin as payment, like, you know, I have family members that actually like work in those agencies that are like, they are able to track on a blockchain where the money goes. So like, although Bitcoin was created as this free money, like decentralized type of network that we can utilize, it's really not, because everything can always be tracked. And I think with
using
central bank
IP
digital
addresses.
currencies, yeah, IP addresses and all that. So like, it is just like, it very much ties into the surveillance state. But he was calling out some names here.
Big Brother.
No, he I think he went in by basically saying the reason that I didn't set myself on fire, but just because I'm an insane individual, I set myself on fire because this is information that I want to get out here on the public.
Yes.
So that was the basis of what he wrote, and then he went into how Democrats and Republicans are really on the same side, and how he talked about the Clinton family and misinformation starting back from Bush, trickling down to like today. And then when he talked about Bitcoin, he was saying it's no coincidence that Silicon Valley Bank failed. Like, this was a part of the plan. As far as the Silicon Valley Bank failing, they're ditching the money out. They push all the money out of that bank. Said it failed. They don't know where the money went. They push it into, quote unquote, the crypto market, and that they're going to actually collapse the crypto market with everyone's money in it. But they take the money out. They artificially inflate the value of the stuff.
Yeah.
And then they let it fail.
Yeah.
Just like they did with the bank.
Yeah, just like they did with the bank. I mean, the bank that failed a week before Silicon Valley, which didn't get a lot of press, was Silvergate. It was exclusively cryptocurrency companies. And he also talks about how each of these, the major companies that, you know, are major on the stock market, like, I mean, I'm not going to, like, I mean, Facebook, Google, like, all of them, all they're doing is siphoning their profits into cryptocurrency, building blockchains. Not necessarily, like, they're taking away the ability for people to purchase on an exchange, which is how, you know, I purchase my crypto. They're buying that up with the profits that are being basically pumped up and the whole stock market is just pumped up right now, but like, they're utilizing those profits and putting it into blockchain technology to further this Ponzi, like, will create like almost a whole new Ponzi scheme, which is going to be global, because everybody's going to be able to use cryptocurrency.
Right.
So it's just like, it's deep. It's
the
really
part
deep.
that's criminal is them artificially inflating the value of things, saying value is held here, taking the money out, and the investors getting screwed and having no idea that they've been screwed because they didn't try to, like, it's like if everyone tries to take the money out or take the value out at once type of thing. They said that's why the bank failed. They said it failed because everyone got shook. Every single user of Silicon Valley Bank all got shook at one time and all took the money out at once. That's what they told us was the reason. So when this happens with crypto, they're going to say it was because of deregulation or this and that, and the reason is because they've already stolen the money.
Yeah, I do think that most, like 90% of the projects of the cryptocurrency space are going to go to zero. But there was a really interesting article that the World Economic Forum put out about cryptocurrency, and it was last year, and they said my biggest takeaway was don't do what the big banks tell you to do. Watch what they do. And you can always, and that's the end of the quote, and like you can always see like for example, Jamie Dimon, on a Tuesday he had a press conference and he said Bitcoin's a scam, like I'm firing anyone who is trading Bitcoin. And then later on that week, we see out of London, like JP Morgan Chase, under the guise of another company, purchase billions of Bitcoin. That's manipulation of the market,
right?
Because he has so much power. But it's just like, don't, like, watch what they do. Don't just do what they say to do, because they know that the majority of citizens are sheeple. So
I love when you guys call people sheeple.
Because
and y'all do it all the time.
Sheeple, literally. They know that people are sheeple, so they have to hurt them. And like when you watch what they're actually doing, that's really how I built most of my strategy up, with like building up assets, because it's like the rich and the powerful are they're not into like certain things, you know. So
And this is one of those instances where, like, if you hadn't pointed this out and sent it to us in the group chat and we didn't, like, want to talk about it, the headline for me ended at "Man sets himself on fire in front of Trump trial." Like, I was like, did they hose him down? Was he a crazy person? Was he, like, the stabbing victim?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think anything else of it. I didn't know that he had a writing behind this and that he had, like, serious theories on why he was doing this and he was trying to wake people. I didn't know none of that. I just thought someone set themselves on fire purposely or accidentally, and like that was it.
Yeah, it was a lot deeper for me too. And like when I learned about it, because one of my
You always fall asleep during financial news.
Yeah, are you bored?
Don't you live here? Don't you need financial? Like, you live on this earth with us. Financial news. Brandon literally leaves us during financial news every week.
Pause. All right, we click back in now.
We're done.
We are done literally now.
So you don't need money at all. You're out here off vibes.
I do.
Off vibes.
No, I'm on for 4 hours of sleep.
I think Brandon knows a lot of these names.
And there's a lot of food. No,
okay.
I'm listening. I was in and I was. I've just been fighting and Deja's food.
Yo,
okay, let's put it on.
Deja went ham today.
I did not. I made y'all the
sliders. Oh, phenomenal.
All right. I'm glad you guys liked the sliders. I don't want people to think I'm just out here just spoiling y'all.
Anyways, forget them.
Yeah, frick them. But that's all we got for financial news.
I don't
that was
need
concerning enough. We don't need any more.
Yeah,
don't need Big Brother in my life.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But
So what should we sell our crypto, keep our crypto, wait for it to crash?
This is my perspective on crypto. I am going to own cryptocurrency until it has gotten to the price targets. Till it owns me now. Now I have an exit plan. My exit plan is to stay in crypto likely until like 2026 or so, or depending on the price targets that it reaches, and then sell and then purchase land and precious metals and have assets or in businesses.
Oh yeah, family
compound. Like literally just create assets from the cryptocurrency. I don't plan to stay in crypto until and I'll probably keep some so I don't have to have Fed coins and stuff, but that's kind of my plan.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes. But it's been real, guys. We kind of stayed on time.
Good chat today.
Very good chat. Very, very good chat. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment.
Oh, the sun's coming out. It's a perfect time to take a pic.
It really is. But yeah, hope you guys liked the episode 26. And if you guys want to bless us with some money, Kingdom OutKast Pod on Cash App. But until next episode, y'all make sure y'all stay safe, stay blessed. And,
Shalom.
Shalom.
Deuces. All right.